Happy birthday, America. Yes, indeed, as we celebrate our independence today, as we celebrate our birth as a nation, a day that kickstarted a revolution to gain our sovereignty, let's admit that this last year's trip around the sun was also another head scratcher. But let's also remember that we are babies. You know, as a country, we're basically going through puberty in comparison to other countries' timelines. And we're going to go through growing pains. We are going through growing pains. This is not an excuse to say this. It's just a reality. And this is good because we got to keep learning. We got to keep maturing. We got to keep striving. We got to keep climbing. We got to keep building. And we got to make sure we maintain hope along the way as we continue to evolve. Why? Because it's who we are. Why? Because the alternative sucks. I believe that America and you and I believe we're an aspiration. All right? We're constantly in motion. We're on the way, trying to get wiser, trying to get braver, trying to dream more, trying to do more, trying to be more fair, take the right kind of responsibilities, to gain the right kind of freedoms. And we got to keep realizing that we're a place where our individual pursuits and desires need to be appreciative and supportive of our collective responsibilities as Americans, hence the United States of America. Sure, we're each unique, we're each independent, we each have innate abilities that others don't have as people and as states, but at the same time, we are all in this together. And if you don't purchase that, move on, go somewhere else. So, as we celebrate the red, white, and blue this weekend, let's be sure and just reflect just a minute. Take a little bit of inventory on where we've come from, where we are, and how and where we want to go from here. On the way to being the best we can be. Now, what if that was a song that each of us just said, I can't not sing that song. I want to be a little bit better. You want to be a little bit better. Let's be on the way to being the best we can be. Let's make that a song we can't not sing. Why? Because it's who we are. It's who we got to be. And again, the alternative sucks. Let's rock, America. Happy birthday. Just keep living. I'll see you there. But let's also remember that we are babies.
So we're to believe that the radical Republicans who have chosen the big lie over the rule of law are going to lecture the country, the Congress, and the House Democratic Caucus on law and order. Are you kidding me? These are people who are denying what took place on January 6th. That was a violent attack on the Capitol. There was a mob that was there to assassinate the speaker, hang Mike Pence, and hunt down members of Congress. More than 140 police officers were seriously injured. A few may even lose sight permanently. The ability to function moving forward, for many of them, lost permanently. So we're not going to be lectured about so-called law and order by a party that is leaning into lawlessness and disorder.
You've said a couple of times on vaccines that the work continues across summer months after the July 4th holiday. Will we hear from the president today a new date that is the next target date to get to a certain percentage of Americans vaccinated? Is there a new timeline?
I don't expect a new goal to be set today. What I will tell you is that our work is going to continue person by person, community by community, and we're going to meet people where they are. That's what he's going to talk about, and he's going to continue to use resources from the federal government, empowering doctors, empowering key voices in communities, and that's what you'll hear him talk about today.
You said earlier about not changing minds. I think it was in response to a question. We had a poll out this weekend with the Washington Post that said 3 in 10 adults say they haven't gotten a coronavirus vaccine and definitely or probably will not not get one. Does the White House have a sense of a number of how many persuadable people there actually are out there, and how do you target just them if you can try and convince some of them?
Well, Karen, I'd first say if you go back to even 5 or 6 months ago, that percentage of people who were not planning to get the vaccine was even much higher than that. And what we've seen have an impact is as people get vaccinated in their communities, they tell their neighbor, they tell their friend. Primary care physicians tell people who are coming to their doctor's office to get checkups. Pharmacists in communities are calling their neighbors and saying, come on down, we have vaccines for you. We're seeing the impact of that. So we've seen actually even people who had no intention of getting the vaccine for a range of reasons. Maybe they didn't know how to get it. Maybe they didn't know where to get it. Maybe they were scared of the impacts, actually get vaccinated. And that to us is an encouraging sign that we can continue to press and make progress moving forward. Go ahead.
So, 2 questions. First, is there a target for herd immunity for COVID vaccines? Is it 75%, 80%? What is that goal for the administration right now?
Well, Dr. Fauci has addressed this a number of times and has conveyed that herd immunity is kind of an outdated term. So we had set a goal of reaching 70% of adults by July 4th. We reached that goal of adults 27 and older by that date, and we're continuing to press to reach it, and we will in the next couple of weeks for adults over the age of 18. But our work doesn't stop there, and we are going to continue to press to get 12 to 18-year-olds vaccinated, to continue to work with communities where there's lower vaccination rates. That's one of the reasons we initiated these strike forces to go into communities and work with them to determine what they need, to take a localized, specific approach that works with elected officials in communities. But I don't have a new goal to set for you. I would remind all of you that we have reduced the death rate by 90%. We've reduced the COVID rate by more than 90%. But again, we're going to continue to press ahead even after July 4th.
Hey, Noah. I just received this letter from Noah, who's a 9-year-old at Noelani Elementary School, thanking me for my efforts to help secure pandemic relief for Noah and his family. Let's go give him a call. Hey, Noah. Hey, oi, aloha, good morning. You know, I was so touched when I received this from you, and I put it in a frame. I hope that's okay. And it's such an honor to represent you and Keiki all over Hawaii, and I just wanted to say how appreciative I was, and thank you very much. You know, one of the things that I liked about your message was when you mentioned wanting to be a zookeeper. Do you have a favorite animal?
Yeah.
What's your favorite animal?
Animal is a python.
All right, is it okay if I hang this up in my office?
Yeah.
Hey, I wanted to ask, where did you learn to draw so well? The picture you drew of the United States Capitol is near perfect. It's exactly what it looks like. How did you learn how to draw so well?
I just copied a YouTube video.
You did? Well, that's a smart way to do it. Good job. Well, you know, it's been such an honor to represent you and Hawaii here in Washington, D.C. Really excited about the American Rescue Plan and what you talked about in your letter. And one of the things that we did is on July 15th, you know, families across the country that have children just like yourself are going to be receiving checks that'll be part of the child tax credit that we funded in American Rescue Plan. And so I hope that little bit of extra money will help not just your family, but families across the country. I just wanted to thank you for your message. I wanted to wish you a great day at school. I love your Aloha shirt, by the way. Is that a Zig Zane? That's awesome. Well, I just wanted to say happy Aloha Friday. I wish you a Hopena Pule Maikai. And I have one request, Noel, for you, if that's okay.
Yeah.
My request is that one day you and your mom and dad get on a plane and fly up here to Washington, D.C. so I can personally take you around the United States Capitol and give you a walk around. So if you can do that for me one day, that's an open-ended invitation. Please come to Washington, D.C. and I look forward to hosting you, and you can see your picture hanging in the office. And we'll go take a walk around your United States Capitol, just like I did when I was a little 10-year-old boy a long time ago. So I hope to see you in Washington, D.C. one day. Have a great weekend. Have a great day at school, Noah.
Thank you.
Aloha. Bye-bye.
To be called a patriot used to be a great thing. Now, I feel like it puts you in the league with insurrectionists. And you know darn well that if this was BLM, or if this was actually Antifa, or if this was Muslims that did this, you know, if the equivalent of Ashley Babbitt had been shot, because by the way, when she breached that door, she put every lawmaker that was present at risk. And frankly, if she hadn't been shot, as sad as it is that she was misled to that point, had she not, you easily could have seen more people breach and more deaths. And I tell you, I guarantee you, Paul Gosar would be the one defending the action of that officer instead of calling that officer, who in my mind is a hero, a murderer. I think the vast majority, if not all of them, my colleagues, believe that this was a Trump-incited insurrection. But when you're in a tribe and you know, if you say something truthful that gets you kicked out of the tribe, you keep your head down and you stay in the tribe. I don't think they believe it. But if you watch the videos, you get that tinge of guilt. And it's much easier to just paper over that tinge of guilt, hope that this organically just kind of fixes the glitch, and nobody's willing to step up. It's disappointing, of course. It's sad. And I think what's even more sad, Anderson, is not that, you know, so many people that aren't acknowledging the truth. It's that there are millions of people, base voters, Republican voters, many in my district, that believe the big lie. And it's not really their fault, although everybody's responsible for what you believe and doing research. But all the leaders they trust are sitting here telling them it's a big lie. And everything that they see on CNN or everything they read in the paper is a lie. And it's just a cover-up. That's what I think the biggest tragedy is, much, you know, not to mention what it's doing to our republic.